This is going to be Scholomance as Mistweaver Monk. This is not a dungeon guide. I'm not an expert at this game. This represents my personal experience with a random dungeon group. So Scholomance. This dungeon, I have a lot of good memories of this. This was one of my favorites way back in the day. I've always liked this place a lot. And it had gotten redone for, I think it was Mists of Pandaria, where you could play this in a heroic mode at the maximum level. That announcement had been made shortly after I quit the game back in Cataclysm, and I almost, kind of wanted to start playing again just to see that, because I always liked this place so much. But then that didn't happen for whatever reason.
Class is now in session.
Anyway, we got a druid tank this time. Looks like an enhancement shaman. Ooh, that was some damage. Whoa, what happened? I was worried enough about it that I hit my life cocoon button, apparently. Enhancement shaman, some sort of warrior, and something else. 2 enhancement shamans? Or are those... Oh, hang on, so that's, what am I seeing here? Priest. Okay, right. Shadow Priests also have a resource bar that looks similar to the Shaman one now. I need to play those classes again so I can understand, what those actually are. Because mana bars don't have that kind of texture. I have no idea. Back when I played them, they just used mana. Just like what I'm using here. Still wondering what made this bear take so much damage all at once, right in that spot. That caught me off guard. Somebody's turned into a skeleton for some reason, and I don't know why. Oh, he's back. Back to being an orc. Alright. Since there was a debuff icon that showed up, it was something I probably could have dispelled, and probably should have now that I think about it. This bear's coloration is not what I'm used to seeing. I wonder if that has to do with, the hair color you choose at character creation time, stuff like that. Oh, it's a troll. Okay, right. Troll druid. Of course, I was thinking it was a Tauren. Whoa, there's some kind of ice wall going on here. Cool. So it's like a demon wall situation. Gotta kill him quick before you get crushed or something. Neat. I've only seen this once before when this was recorded, because, again, this all changed for Mists of Pandaria. And you have to kill the phylactery. Okay, I see. But the ice wall went away. This is some of it. I guess that other ice over there is just blocking off the stairway, so you can't backtrack while you're fighting that. So a lot of bosses in newer dungeons put up barriers when you engage them to stop you from leaving their arena. The other thing they do is stop people who weren't in their arena from getting in and participating in the fight. Which happens to me more often than I'd like it to. Because I'm not always ready for it, and sometimes I'm back behind, drinking to get my mana up, or, I don't know, hanging back for some other reason. You gotta watch out for that. Good to stick close to your other party members in case stuff like that happens.
I am out of range.
That's a lot of damage for you to be taking for me to be out of range of you. Fortunately, he turned around and came back. So, like most, that is not the time to be using Spinning Crane Kick. I'm not sure I've used that before. I might have just gotten it recently. So it's a button I can press to do a spinning kick as many times as I want, for as long as I want. Do a little bit of damage to everybody who's in a circle around me. It's my only area of effect damage ability. It's a pretty good one, but it doesn't do all that much damage on its own. I know now that it's not at all worth using it unless I'm fighting, I don't know, 8 opponents or more. I don't know the exact number, but, the 3 that are there are not the appropriate situation for it. And as a healer, it's rarely the right thing to do. Sometimes it is, though. So right, like a lot of dungeons, old dungeons that got updated for newer expansions, this one got trimmed down a fair bit. I think I don't know if like the old stuff is there and can be optionally done, but the amount of this dungeon that I saw during this run was a lot less than I remembered there being of it. It also got a lot talkier, so they added a bunch of voice acting and stuff. I don't have a super duper clear memory of the old version to know all the ways that this changed. Whoa, you took a lot of damage somehow. Things are happening. I'm not sure what they are. Still not sure. I wasn't then and I'm not now. There was like a bunch of mist in the room. I don't know what it was. I just focused on healing for a bit and we survived, so it was cool. Here it is again. Okay, so let's see if we can tell what happened. So her health bar on the right disappeared. Oh, it's back. So she becomes untargetable for a moment, I guess. There are probably like things that everybody in the party has to attack for a bit to get her to reappear. Stuff like that happens sometimes. I got new pants. I was carrying armor kits so I could upgrade them right away.
Make yourselves useful and deal with these summoners.
Those only work up to a certain item level, at which point I guess just like the design of this game, you know, changed such that armor kits just aren't a thing anymore. After a certain point. I'm past that point now, as of this recording. But back at level 45 or whatever I am now, you can still use them. They don't do much, but, you know, a very small stamina benefit from applying them.
Getting tired? I'll never stop hunting your kind, necromancer. Never.
All this talking, it just never ends.
I cannot attack that target.
And now my character is contributing too.
We'll see if you revel so much in death once I've ripped out your throat.
Man, all of the villain writing in this game is very much the same. I was saying a few videos ago how, like, I just don't pay that much attention to the writing, so I don't even know if it's any good or not. I think I can say with some certainty now that it is at least not for me.
You should embrace this gift that has been bestowed.
Oh man. It's kind of funny how consistently, like, hammy it is.
Another soul with this nightmare. Run, necromancer. Your life ends once I catch my breath.
Come, Voss. Your fate awaits you.
I mean, the voice acting's fine for the most part. They're doing what they can with the script as it is. Did I just interact with that bone pile? I guess so. I have some kind of debuff from it. I don't know what's going on. Again, was seeing most of this for the first time, am seeing it now for the second time. Several weeks after it had happened. Probably like at least a month at this point. I'm not sure when this was recorded. Fortunately, everybody else in the dungeon knows what to do, so I can just kind of follow along, heal, attack when appropriate, not worry about too much. Protect yourself from Bone Spike. Okay, I can follow those instructions, no problem. I guess that bone shield that I have from that does something important. Hey, a gloves upgrade. Getting lots of equipment here. So I remember this particular room. There's like two different... If I go straight, I would get to one section of the dungeon that was always optional, and most people I played with didn't do back in the day. If I went right, I would end up in another, like, big library or something with an optional boss or two. Then left leads toward the end of the dungeon. I see that there's like a bent-up iron gate straight ahead of me. I suspect that way is just permanently closed. I should come back here on my own and do the dungeon at my own pace and learn the layout and mechanics a bit more. For some reason I haven't done that with this yet. but it would be in character with all the other dungeons that were changed and trimmed down and streamlined, that those paths would just be permanently closed off. Thanks for that contribution.
Did you forget, girl? I am the Dark Master.
Yeah, I see another another iron gate like that in the path that was to the right. Somebody's talking directly to me using my name for some reason.
Rune blades on our guests and fetch me their bones.
So there's a lot of stuff I see in this game where, like, the writing mentions the character's name, and they just, like, substitute another word, like champion. Like, a lot of people call me champion, but the text says my actual name in there. It's kind of weird and awkward. Like, a strange solution to the problem of, you know, you can't record voice clips for whatever anybody could put in the name field. They do seem to, when they refer to people with gendered pronouns, they do seem to record a separate line so that they can use the correct character gender, I guess. So that's nice, at least. Looked like there was some sort of timer going on there. I assume if that shadow image of her had reached somewhere apart from her physical body, something bad would have happened to us. I don't know. That bear got locked in there. Huh, I rolled right over that thing, but I didn't go try to open it. I wonder why. I don't know what's in there, if it's just treasure or a quest item or something. Guess I wanted to just stick with the group. There was the map for a moment. Don't really have time to read it in detail. Oh yeah, and back there where those bone piles and stuff were, I remember there being some kind of balcony with like a gargoyle you could summon and fight out on it. Yeah, there was a lot to this place. This looks like a slightly messy situation, but also looks like none of these little enemies that are swarming around are going to be too much of a threat, so I'm not too worried here. Getting up close to this Shadow Priest there, here. Okay, people are completing quest objectives for me. So, that gives me credit. Everybody levels up at once, pretty much. New dungeon unlocked. Black Arc Depth, detention block. Neat.
If you haven't come to study, I'll use you to teach a
Oh yeah, and
lesson.
we're at the end already. Yeah, so this got trimmed down a lot.
I need to get closer.
Now what I remember about this boss is he used to like pick a random player, or maybe he did it to everybody at once, and would teleport you to, like, there's a room through those iron bars you see straight ahead. He'd move you to one of those rooms and you'd just have like a little solo adventure where you had to fight on your own through a bunch of enemies to get back to the center room where everybody else was still fighting him. So it must have been just one person at a time then. Let's watch and see if that happens. I see a warrior just having come from... Yeah, so I think the warrior got it on the minimap. I saw a light brown dot moving over. Yeah, druid got it. Okay. Yeah, so it's still a thing. I guess I just don't get to experience that at this point. So the bear's over there fighting his way through something to get back to the rest of us. Watching that orange dot up there. And he's back. Alright, cool. Yeah, there were like a couple of other optional bosses down this way somewhere. Yeah, there was like at least twice as much stuff to do. Way back before this was streamlined. It was a cool place. It's still a cool place. I like the new one too. Would like to compare it to its older form, though. Anyway, so that's New Scholomance. Pretty cool place. See you next time.